Is Abe here?
Is who? Oh, Ace, no.
No?
The big goal of what I'm going to ask you to do is to think about what do people who look at fossils do when they try to figure out how things are related. With existing organisms, we do the same thing. This is like paleontology and like classification and taxonomy of organisms. How do we figure out how things are related? Now we have all sorts of fancy molecular and like computer tools to do it. But in the past, we've largely done it by what things look like. We have evidence of what fossil organisms might have looked like. We know what organisms now look like, and we can do things like say, well, these ones kind of look similar here. They have like these little feetsies, and they have sort of the same body shape, and then we might see other ones that it's like, well, this one I could sort of see these are connected, but they also, like, these ones have hooves, so there's a little bit of a difference here. We've got these turtle-looking ones over here, like these are clearly somehow related. These ones with wings seem to be sort of related. We can group these organisms together visually. These are made-up little critters. They're adorable. They're hand-drawn, and I've had them for 25 years, but effectively, the observational and logic skills that you need to group these together are the same as what paleontologists and taxonomists do. They just have a lot more expertise. They went to school and like studied this stuff and worked at museums. What I have for you are a whole bunch of these things. There's actually 32 of them, a variety of shapes and sizes, and they all have some similarities and some differences. Some of them have feathers, and some of them have scales, and some of them have fur, and some of them have kind of half and half, like we have these sort of mixed ones where they look like they've got a little bit of fur and a little bit of scales, and some of them have like little flipper things, and some of them have wings or fins, and you could just sort of put them all together. And there is actually a outline of how they fit together. And this, again, like a paleontologist wouldn't have this, a taxonomist wouldn't have this. This is what they would create, but this makes it a little bit more accomplishable for us. It's going to be a lot easier for us to pull this off with a guide in front of us. So what I'm going to ask you to do is figure out where these organisms go on the layout. And so some of them are obvious, like this one, number 4, it's actually labeled here. And EXT means it's extinct, we don't see it anymore, so we know this one goes here. Some of them are less obvious, like these two. When I look at these two right here, I know they both fly. But there's a whole bunch of things that aren't extinct, then I don't know, maybe they go here, right? They look kind of similar to each other. There's a lot of similarities, so they're probably reasonably closely related. Where would they go? Well, we do have some clues here. Like, we have this clue. There's one that flies over here, and this one is probably pretty closely related to it, but it's extinct. So probably these feathered flyers don't go over here. We also have 2 flyers up here that are closely related that aren't extinct. My guess is that this would be a great place to start with your 2 feathered flyers. There are other flyers as well. Some of them have sort of feathers, and some of them don't look like they've got much in the way of feathers at all. When you do this, I think the easiest way to do it is to take the template and put it like on a table, one of the lab benches or one of the regular tables, kind of up high away from you, and then take the little cards and move them around on the table. Don't try to put them on the chart. Don't just write the numbers, because if you write the numbers, then you can't see what it looks like. Just take these and kind of lay them out the way the chart goes, and then you'll see all the same branches and connections, and it makes it a lot easier. The point of doing this, again, is to think about, well, how did we gather evidence for the idea that some things are more closely related than others, right? What did paleontologists do? What do taxonomists do to try to figure this stuff out? And this is all very simplified, but the but the process behind it is really similar to what you might see a taxonomist or a paleontologist doing. And I also think it's kind of fun. Most of you, I think, will enjoy doing it. You will find some of these in the back of the classroom already that have been cut out. If you find any that have been written on, don't cheat and look at them. I mean, you can cheat, but it'll take all the fun out of it. And I am going to ask you to take a picture of how far you've gotten and turn it in on Canvas, but I know that not all of you are going to finish. Okay, so do the best you can, and don't worry, we're following the last 2-week rules here, which is if I see you trying to learn, you're fine. That's all you need to do to get full credit on this assignment. So I have some extras up here if you need them. Working in groups of 2 or 3 is best. It really, this is one where putting your brain together with somebody else makes a huge difference. Okay, I'll stop the video, and then if anybody has any questions, we can talk about them, and then you have the rest of the period to work.